Hello everyone. Today we'll be learning the topic that is cell division. So, cell division is that particular biological process in which cells are seen to divide and form daughter cells. Right? So, in this particular process, the parent cell undergoes division and that leads to the formation of new cells which are also known as daughter cell, and this process is known as cell division. Right now, as you can see the picture, it shows how the cell division takes place. We'll also see the different types of cell division and how do they take place. So, the next point is they help in growth. That means if a cell is going to divide, then one cell will divide to form two cells. Again, those two cells will further divide to form more number of cells, and eventually it will be seen that that part of the body, or as the whole body is going to grow due to this cell division. So, cell division helps in growth like this. Now, it also replaces worn out or dead cells. That means if any cell that gets worn out, that dies after a certain span, it can be replaced by other cell through the help of cell division. Now, for an example, RBC, right? Now, RBC is one type of red blood cell, is a type of blood cell which has a lifespan of 120 days. Now, if after 120 days all the cell dies, then definitely the person will have no RBCs left in his or her body. That's why cell division is important. So new RBCs will develop and will replace those dead cells. Right? The next point is it also helps in repairing injured cells. It helps repairing injured cells. It repairs injured cells. Now let's say we get a cut, right? And that part becomes separated, that region becomes separated. So only after cell division will take place, that part after certain day will join back. You won't be able to see the cut. The reason again is because of cell division. Right? The next is it helps in the formation of gamete cells. So, we know that reproduction is also a biological process, also a process which occurs in living organisms. Now, to undergo reproduction, every living organism requires gametes. Most of them. Some can also undergo asexual mode of reproduction, but we are not discussing that type of right now. We are concerned about the sexual reproduction type where gamete formation is essential, and that gamete cell, right, that gamete cell can be formed only through cell division. Right? Now, let us see two types of cell division. The first, which is mitosis. Right? Now, mitosis is also known as equational division, as the number of chromosome, which we have already studied in the nucleus part, that inside the nucleus there are chromosomes present, and for a particular species the chromosomes number of chromosomes, they are fixed, right? So when a parent cell divides to form two daughter cells, as you can also see it in the picture, now the parent cell which has got a particular number of chromosome, when it undergoes division, the daughter cells, both the daughter cells will seem to have the same number of chromosomes what the parent cell had. So this is how it is known as equational division. So the number of chromosome present in parent cell is also equal to that of the number of chromosome present in each of the daughter cells. So that's why equational division. Next point is that parent cell divides to two daughter cell. So as you can see in the figure, one cell is undergoing division to ultimately form two daughter cell, right? Now chromosomes double during replication, fine. So as I was talking about, that the number of chromosome in the parent cell and in the daughter cells also remains the same. This is only possible because of the replication, or we can also use a common term as duplication. So chromosomes undergo duplication, and the biological term is replication. So that chromosome undergoes doubling, it doubles, right, during the cell division process through replication, right? So it replicates to form another set of chromosomes. Next point is, cells of an organism have same number of chromosome except gamete cells. So this is what I was explaining, that the number of chromosome within an individual, all the body cells, the number of chromosomes in all the body cells, they are same, and that is due to this process, this cell division process, which is mitosis, right? But we don't see this in case of gamete cells. In gamete cells we see another type of cell division, and that is meiosis, which we will study in further presentation. The next point is, it helps in growth, repair and replacement of the dead cells, the worn out cells, repairment of the injured cells, and growth through divisions of cell. So it altogether helps in growth, repair and replace, right? Now the next is, we are going to see the entire mitosis in a very schematic way, right? So this is the first cell that is going to undergo cell division, right? And in this process, the first step is to undergo replication, the DNA is going to undergo DNA replication, it is undergoing multiplication, fine. So it copies and it forms this particular stage where the chromosome number gets doubled, right? Now it further transforms into a particular stage where the chromosomes get arranged towards the center of the cell, which is also technically termed as equatorial region. As we know, equator, if we talk of the earth, right? The equator is at the middle. So like that, chromosomes also get arranged at the equatorial region, right? And then the chromosomes get divided and drawn towards respective poles. And finally, the cytoplasmic division takes place, which ends up to form two diploid cells, two new daughter cells. If you just compare with the daughter cells or the diploid cells with the parent cell, you will find that each of the diploid cell are having the same number of chromosomes as like of the parent cell, and that is only because of that DNA replication stage where the chromosome number gets doubled, right? And again, these diploid cells further in future will again undergo mitosis to continue the cell divisional process, right? Next is meiosis. Now, meiosis can be also explained as reductional division, because here the chromosome number gets reduced to half. So a parent cell with total number of chromosome is said as or is known as a diploid cell, where total set of chromosomes are present. But once it undergoes this type of cell division, meiosis, the chromosome number gets reduced to half, and that cell in which the chromosome number has got reduced to half, that is called as gamete cell. So the parent cell undergoes division to form gamete cell, right? Now, parent cell in this type of cell division in meiosis divides to form four daughter cells. But if you remember, if you tally with mitosis, one mitotic cycle, if one parent cell divides, that will end up in the formation of two daughter cells. But in meiosis, one parent cell will divide to form four daughter cells, right? The next, chromosome number reduces to half. We have already discussed about this, that as the division is taking place, the chromosome number gets reduced to half. So if an individual in which the parent cell is having, let's say in case of humans, if the parent cell which is going to undergo meiosis is having total number of chromosome as 46, then the daughter cells, the gamete cells, that will have 23 number of chromosome. So from 46 to 23, that means exactly half the number of chromosome. So during this cell division process, meiosis, chromosome number gets reduced to half, right? And that will help us to understand that how the chromosome number is getting maintained. That is the next point. It maintains chromosome number. Now, how is it that chromosome number is maintained? So, if a parent cell which is having 46 number of chromosome that is undergoing cell division, then it is forming 23, which is a gamete cell, right? Now this gamete cell during fertilization will again fuse with another gamete cell, right? If both the gamete cells are having 23, let's say, so that will fuse during fertilization, right? And that will form a zygote, which is a diploid with a total number of chromosome having 46, right? So the parent having 46 getting divided into a gamete cell having half the number of chromosome. That gamete is getting fused with another gamete which is also having, like say if a sperm is going to fuse with ovum, both the gamete cells are having 23 number of chromosomes each. That will fuse together to form 46 number of chromosome in that zygote. So that is how it is maintaining chromosome number, and that is why it is important for sexual reproduction. So in case of sexual reproduction, formation of gametes are very, very important, and that gamete is the only cell where the chromosome number has reduced to half, and now it will undergo fusion, it will undergo fertilization to form a new diploid cell, and that is the basic fundamental of sexual reproduction. So gamete cells fuse to form zygote. So we can easily understand now that as the gametes are formed due to meiosis, when fertilization takes place, when they fuse together, that ends up in zygote formation, a diploid. Gamete cells are always haploid, which are having half the number of chromosomal set, whereas when they combine, when they fuse together, two gametes, sperm and ovum, when they fuse together, that ends up in the formation of a diploid cell with complete set of chromosomes, which is known as zygote. The cell is known as a zygote, a diploid cell, right? Now in this slide we will see how the meiosis process, the schematic representation of meiosis. So this cell is comprising of 4 chromosomes, right, which undergoes the formation of splitting of them, and in the first meiosis these homologous chromosomes gets divided. So now you can see that after the first meiosis 2 chromosomes got divided into each daughter cells, right? So this is the nucleic portion, the nuclear region, which had been focused in this schematic figure. Now if you closely see the new daughter nucleus, you can see that the red chromosome which was seen in the previous one, now in the daughter nuclei the chromosomes are a bit different. Why? Because that red chromosome is having a little bit of blue region. Again, the blue chromosome is having a little bit of red region. Now in this meiosis, how did this take place? Now let us get the concept of this transformation mechanism. To understand that, we will see this structure. Let's say these are the 2 structures of chromosome, right? 2 homologous chromosome, one in blue, one in red, right? Now as the process continues, they seem to overlap on one another. As you can see, one arm of the chromosome is overlapping, I mean the blue arm, one of the blue arm of one chromosome, blue chromosome, is overlapping with one of the arm of red chromosome, right? So during this process, this overlapping of chromosome takes place, which is also known as crossing over or recombination. And because of this, they end up in the formation of new chromosomes with recombinant region. That means some part of one of the chromosome gets into the other chromosome, right? And that is how it ends in the formation of a recombinant type of chromosome. I hope this mechanism is clear. Now let us move further with the meiosis process. So we have seen the parent cell undergoing division to form two daughter nuclei, right? And that was the first meiotic step. In the second meiotic step, we see the daughter nuclei. It is just the daughter nuclei which has been represented here. In fact, the entire cell is undergoing division, and now it will form further two daughter cells with two daughter nuclei. So here only the nuclear part is mentioned, right? So you can see easily that the parent cell which had four, if we just see the first cell where the process started from, there the total number of chromosome were 4, but now in the last stage, right, where daughter nuclei 2 is written, there you can see that each of the nuclei, they are having 2 chromosomes in them. So 4 in parent and ended up in the gamete where it is now having 2 chromosomes in each daughter nuclei. Further, the other daughter nuclei also undergoes in the same second meiotic divisional manner and ends up in the formation of 2 daughter nuclei, right? So one parent cell getting completely divided into 4 types, 4 daughter cells with half the number of chromosome. And in between this step, we have also seen how the chromosomes are overlapping, recombining, crossing over is taking place, and they are ultimately ending up with formation of gamete cells with half the number of chromosome, right? Now let's move to the next topic, which is the difference between mitosis and meiosis, right? So we will differentiate on basis of few points. Where is this process seen to take place? The occurrence of mitosis, the occurrence of meiosis. So the occurrence of mitosis seen to take place in somatic cells, body cells, cells that are present throughout the body, except the reproductive part, where the cells undergo meiotic division, meiosis, and the gamete cell in those reproductive organs, the gamete cells that are formed, that is formed due to meiosis. The next is purpose. We have already discussed about this. Mitosis helps in growth, repair, replacement, whereas meiosis helps in sexual reproduction. In case of mitosis, number of daughter cells that are formed are 2, but in case of meiosis, there is 4 number of daughter cells that are formed. Next is number of chromosome. In mitosis, the parent cell and both the daughter cells, they all have same number of chromosome, whereas in case of meiosis, the number of chromosomes which were seen to be present in parent cell gets reduced to half in daughter cells, right? Now, if we talk of nuclear division, in mitosis, the nuclear division seen to occur once, whereas in case of meiosis, it is twice. We have seen it in the figure also, meiosis 1, then meiosis 2, right? So, first meiotic division, second meiotic division. So, there are two stages where the nuclear division takes place. Now, with this, we come to the end of discussion on cell division. Thank you, everyone.